So a federal jury announcing today that the gunman who killed 11 people at a Pittsburgh synagogue in 2018 is eligible for the death penalty in the nation's deadliest anti-Semitic attack. That jury will now hear further evidence before deciding whether Robert Bowers will be sentenced to death or spend the rest of his life in prison. Joining me now, our legal contributor, Shauna Lloyd. So, Shauna, prosecutors are really pushing here for capital punishment, but to put him on death row, jurors will have to agree unanimously. So what approach do you think prosecutors will take here to try and convince the jury?
What we're going to see is the state is really going to show the impact on the families and everyone that was involved with this shooting. They're also going to focus on the fact that this was in their minds intentional and that the effect that it had deserves the death penalty. And that's really what they're going to be focusing on. All of the mitigating factors are going to be focused on by the defense. The defense is going to be looking to say that he should have life in prison as opposed to the death penalty.
So Bowers' lawyers argue that he was mentally ill and had a belief that he could stop what he thought was a genocide of white people by killing Jewish people. How does his legal team plan to keep him off death row with just what we've already heard from this man?
What they're going to have to show is that the mitigating factors are so overwhelming that they require the jury not to find that he's able to be submitted to the death penalty. So they're going to have to show that these mitigating factors, the health issues, the mental health issues, any other childhood factors, they're going to have to show that these are things that contributed to why he should not receive the death penalty.
So testimony is now expected to shift to the impact of Bowers' crimes on survivors and the victims' loved ones. What kind of effect do you think that will have on the jury? I mean, clearly that's going to be very emotional.
Absolutely, Kara. This part of the sentencing phase is really impactful for jurors. It's a very big moment for the families because they get to tell their story. They're going to tell the story of their loved ones, how this has impacted the families, and what the loved ones meant to them, because that is part of the aggravating factors here that the state is going to be pushing forward. Some of these individuals were elderly, so they're going to have different stories told to the jury. And for the jury, this is going to be a very heartfelt moment because this will be the first time they're hearing from the victims' families and their emotional response to the actual tragedy that occurred.
So the president of the Jewish Federation of Greater Pittsburgh did say today that his organization doesn't have a position on the death penalty and that survivors and victims' relatives disagree about whether it should be applied. How do you think the jury will take that into account?
The jury's going to take all of it into account. And let's remember, the jury's also going to bring their personal feelings about the death penalty into account. Because when we're talking about the death penalty, it is something that means a lot to individuals one way or the other way. This is why the actual federation will not make a statement, because it is an individual choice. So each juror is going to have to listen, make that determination on whether there were sufficient aggravating factors or mitigating factors, and make a determination when they vote.
Shauna Lloyd, appreciate your time.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.